Hi there, I'm Adrienne, the owner of Performance High, and this is Justin Long, our artist development coach, engineer, producer, musician. We are here to talk about what artist development is. Let's just talk about it, as if I'm coming to you saying, hey, I sing and I want to do something with my career. I know I want to be out there and I want to, do more than whatever I'm doing now, which is maybe I'm in a cover band, or maybe I do karaoke, or maybe I just play at home, and like, what's next? So if I came to you and we did artist development, what is that?
Well, the first thing we would do in artist development is help you figure out exactly what it is you want to do. Saying, I want to be famous, or I want to be in a band, or I want to sing in front of people. Like, none of those are specific enough to start making effective steps. Certainly, there's just general steps you could make. But I know for me, one of the things that happened to me is I spent so many years in my career running this way and doing this thing and going, oh, this isn't helping me do what I want to do. Running over here and doing this thing and going, this isn't helping me do what I want to do.
There's so many things that you can do. I mean, there's so many programs you can pay for, and so many songwriting contests you can join, and bands. I mean, it's just it's so limitless.
It's limitless.
Where you can put your energy.
So that's the first thing we do, is help figure out exactly where we want to be going, or at least a good direction of where we want to be going. And then the next thing we would start doing is start making those steps that need to be made. And basically what that is developing you as an artist by separating things out and going, well, what do we need to work on? Like, if you want to be an original artist and you want to be out there writing songs, well, then songwriting is something we need to be working on. If it's you want to be a live performer, maybe you already are a live performer, but you're not happy with the response you're getting from the crowd, then we need to work on live performance. There's also the general kind of students where we would go, okay, let me basically take you through each of those things step by step in a curriculum type of environment, where we go, let's work on this, let's make sure you understand the business aspects. That's another place you might be. You might be really getting some stuff going, but you don't understand the business side of music. How does the money really work? What do I need to really do? Do I need to copyright my songs? All those things. So really, it can be as customized as you like, but it's all about helping you become the artist you want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Really. I mean, that's
cool. Can we talk about maybe some examples of some people you've worked with? Some different kinds of
that would have been great. Yeah.
Would have been?
Would have been great to start there, yeah.
Well, here we are.
So one project that I just recently got released was an artist who had been in the medical field, but felt a calling to be a songwriter and put some stuff out. So we started working together, and we dialed in on genre and what exactly she wanted to be writing, and then we met regularly as she was writing. I wasn't really helping to write, I was just helping to hone and edit and choose what songs to put more effort into than the other ones, and just be a general sounding board. And then she started getting the songs together and was concerned about, how do I get this record made? How do I make a record? So I helped her figure some things out with what she wanted to do and what the goals really were. And then I helped her figure out how to get in touch with a producer who has produced several of her favorite records, Drive-By Truckers and whatever. Actually quite a big producer. I said, just send the stuff to him, see what he thinks. He said he would do it. And so they did the record together, and she got to make the record with her favorite producer in the world, which I don't think a concept of even having a favorite producer was something that she had before we started working together. But she realized, oh, this one guy has done all these records that I love. And I said, maybe you can work with that guy, and he did, and the record just came out 2 days ago. So.
Oh, wow. I need to put that in the newsletter.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's gotten written up in some pretty big blogs too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So another example would be a country singer and songwriter who wanted to go to Nashville and had a plan to go to Nashville in 6 months, and we just worked together on making sure he, number one, knew everything he needed to know before he left. So that was music business stuff and how that works, made sure he was all set on his theory and Nashville number system so that when he got out there he was good on that. The other thing that was his big thing was that he didn't have any brand whatsoever. He knew he wanted to be a singer-songwriter. He knew all of that stuff, but he didn't know didn't have any brand. There was nothing, so we worked together on figuring out who he was, what his story was, how to tell that story. And he came out with an awesome story, which is, anyway, I won't go into it, but he did like quintessential, like that is an awesome
I know.
country artist story. And it was true, he's a welder and a pipe fitter. And I was like, yeah, that goes, you got to talk about that.
It's amazing, like looking at it from this side, like where the brand and the story exist. It's almost impossible to believe it didn't exist before. Like it had to be uncovered because it's so authentic and powerful and real.
Yeah.
And it seems like, of course, that's who he is.
Yeah.
But he wasn't coming across.
It wasn't,
before.
and he hadn't figured it out.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew it, but he just hadn't put it into words and said it and put it into a message. And that's one of the things that also he's gotten a lot of compliments on. I've heard that producers in Nashville and the producer he's working with now have said, wow, you're clearly a legit musician because you're so on brand and your story is so good. And I read your bio on your website and I went, whoa, this guy's the real deal. And that was from uncovering that story and figuring out how do we show people who you are. So anyway, that's somebody who's already out there. They're making the move to Nashville. They're really going for it, and it's just getting those things in place first. Someone on the more beginner side, teenage girl who really wanted to do something, wanted to sing, and we helped her work on a style. And for a while we were kind of working on like an Amy Winehouse thing for her. She was very uncomfortable, very held in, really had a really hard time performing, even singing full voice live. So we worked a lot on performance aspects, some of the basics of stagecraft, and then also ways to get that confidence up, dealing with the stage fright, dealing with being okay with making mistakes. So we just kind of week by week kept working on that, and then her style kind of evolved. She's now doing more of a a darker kind of more Lil Peep kind of thing. It's become even more her. And she's starting to get out there and perform, and now when she performs is starting to have tons of confidence and has a crazy look. I mean, she just looks like a rock star now. And that's another thing we did with her is really work on a social media strategy, like how do we make you really look like you on social media? And when you look at her Instagram, you go, oh, I get who this person is. And it's out there and it's wild and it's crazy, but it's her, and so it works, I think. And
it's one of my favorite.
So social media strategy was one of the things we worked on with her, just getting her comfortable. I didn't personally tell her what clothes to wear, but helping her find the confidence to find her look, and just really encouraging her, pointing out to her that you need to find a way to show the world who you are. And then that would go all the way to flying to Seattle to work with a full band, a pretty big band out there. And we just worked on their performance and their show, helped them find some ways to really spotlight each member, found some ways to really make some exciting moments in each set. And they flew us out a year later, and it was
my gosh,
it was amazing. They were 10 times better. They'd taken everything and it was great, but then they were still having some problems where they were going, we do a set and it's great and people love it, and then the second set just does not seem to go over as well. The energy doesn't seem to be there. So we worked on set list things, some way to maybe you're kind of coming out of the gate too hot. We worked on some of that, and then also worked out some ways to make some of that later night stuff more exciting, have some more drawn out big solos and dramatic things. Open up the songs a little bit just to keep people's interest. Like they were basically, the crowd was going, oh wow, you guys are so great, and then you're keeping doing it, and wow, you're still equally as great, but it's the same thing we've been hearing. And so those would be 3 examples of different types of people I've worked with.
Cool. And that's only tip of the iceberg. You've worked with all kinds of different artists in different genres and who have different needs. I mean, there are some people who are really self-directed, and do their own reading and their own research and kind of just come with us to put some pieces together. Right. And then there are people who have no idea about the music industry whatsoever, and come to us saying, we have some talent here, Parents usually, we have some talent here, we don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So,
What do we do?
It's kind of all over the spectrum there. Is there anything else you want to add to this video about what artist development is?
Well,
not
I mean,
now, but
all I would add is that it's totally fine to just get in touch and ask
yeah,
what we can do.
yeah. Or have one little quick session with Justin. Or
Have one session and no obligation, and we can kind of see if there's a fit, and we can figure out how to help.
Yeah, cool.
Be happy to do that.
Cool. All right.
Okay. Thanks.